It better not rain. I see a big ugly cloud. Like, look, watch. No! Don't rain, please. Hey peeps, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you decided to stop by. Today we're going to be doing a video kind of just talking about some ways to keep track of your health. Oftentimes, I know that I've gotten like this before, we tend to let life just happen and we don't really keep track or really worry about some of our healthy habits because we think that we don't need to keep track of these things, but it's really important to kind of keep track and make sure that we're on the road to health. It is a lifestyle. It is not a short-term journey by any means, and I think we should remember that keeping track of our habits just help us to solidify them in our lives. So I'm going to be talking about a couple things that I've done before that I know work and that can work for people. So let's dive right in. So the first one is journaling your progress. So I have found that journaling just in general is good for your health, but journaling your health progress is a little different because you write down how you're feeling physically that day, or maybe how your mental health is faring, and you kind of can keep track and be honest with yourself and talk about, man, it's windy today, and just talk about how you are feeling. And it kind of helps you that when you go back and look on those journal entries, what worked, what didn't work, and you can learn from your mistakes and realize, oh, I shouldn't have eaten this thing today because in the past it's affected me, or I shouldn't exercise this way because it hurts my neck, or I don't know, something like that. And that's just the physical side of it, of course. And it just helps us to remember that some of these things aren't necessarily good for us. Ugh, darn wind and long hair and everything. So yeah, that's one way. I have, just to show you what I have, dropping things, what I have is I bought a little notebook from Michael's. I think it was like $5. And it's just a little generic notebook. Oh no, oh my god, it's raining. That happened. I think we're in the clear now. I don't even remember what I was saying because of the rain. Oh my gosh, South Louisiana, this is what I have to deal with. So anyway, oh, I remember. It's just a generic little notebook. I love the fact that it has the lined paper. I don't know if you can see, it's just lined paper, and it's got a cute little bookmark. But anyway, so getting a notebook in your hands, the reason I recommend this instead of, I mean, you can use your phone, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, but the reason I recommend doing this is because, one, it's really fun. It's really fun to get like little tiny rulers like this and make stuff in your journals to kind of give you an incentive to actually use it and keep track of everything. And for me, I've noticed a big difference that when I write it down, instead of writing it on my phone, I actually remember to look at it. Funny, because I keep my phone with me all the time, but I think it's because it's fun to take out a notebook. I use my phone all the time. I see it all the time. It just escapes my mind. So yeah, so for instance, I have a journal entry right here that I don't remember what I said in it. I think I was just talking about how I had been exercising more often. I had, this was like a few weeks ago, so I had started exercising every day, almost every day, and everything, and I just kind of talked about how I felt about it. And I recommend also trying to make sure that whenever you keep track like this, don't just talk about the good times. There goes my umbrella. Don't just talk about the good days. Journal the bad days too, because that actually helps you to remember what you did that day that was bad, or you can look back on it and realize, oh, I shouldn't eat that food during this time, or I shouldn't be exercising that way because it hurts my neck or something, you know, like I said, I think a little bit ago. It's really important to keep track in a journal form, I think, because it can help you have insights that you otherwise wouldn't, because you can't remember how you felt about something, but you know because you journaled it. The second thing is, again, journaling, but food journaling. I did this a while, and it helped me to understand kind of like what I was eating, and I recommend it. I haven't done it in a while because I've been keeping track on a different platform, and I'll show that in a second. But food journaling can be really good because it helps you to, again, see on a piece of paper what you're eating, how much you're eating of it, you know, because you specify, like, I had 2 eggs for breakfast, or I had 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, 2 pieces of toast, such and such. And you might realize, oh, well, that portion may have been a little bit too much. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Or, you know, it helps you to know what you're eating so that way you can kind of experiment and see what works better and works best for you. So one thing I also like to do, since I'm on more of a, not stricter, but just on a diet that I'm supposed to be on. I don't always follow it, but I write down a food list of foods that I can, foods that I can and foods that I can't have. And I just really like doing that as well because it helps me to keep track of, maybe I don't remember if I can have a food or not. Or it just helps me to solidify further that I'm not supposed to eat this food. And it just kind of keeps us on a better balanced, more keeping track of things. And I think no matter who you are, whether you're a beginner or you have been doing this for a while, I think it's really good to keep track, because then we can see if we're going wrong somewhere, or if we are you know, whether or not we're doing enough or not enough, and it helps a lot. The third thing is, I don't know how else to say, except like a goal calendar, I don't know. For instance, again, another thing in my notebook, I am doing a sugar fast and a caffeine fast. So that way I can see how I feel at the end of the 30 days to see how my energy stores up. It's just an experiment. I like doing challenges like this. I think it's fun. And this is the way that I did it. So I just took the mini ruler I showed you earlier and a pen, and I just made some boxes. And you can see, and I wrote this on the top and made some little cute decorations, put some stickers and stuff to make it look nice. And I'll just mark an X or say no coffee, no sugar. And if I did not follow through and I did it anyway, I can write I did have coffee or sugar. So that way it can help me to keep track of this this goal. But I like that because for any type of goal and habit, because like it, well, I don't know why I said habit, but with any type of goal, because it helps you develop habits. And when you keep track like that, it helps you to develop the habits that you really want. They say that developing a good habit takes about 30 to 40 days to solidify and keep it into your regimen, and it takes 1 day to break it. So it's good to make sure that you have some type of calendar goal set up, that you know this is the goals, this is the challenges I'm going to be doing this month or this amount of time or whatever, and it helps to develop habits, and then you'll realize that you don't need to keep track anymore because it's already a part of your whole regimen. And you'll realize that you don't need to keep track of everything all of the time. It's just keeping track for certain amounts of time, and maybe you do have to keep track for the rest of your life. It all depends on what you have to be doing and what your goals are, but it's not the bad thing having to keep track of something. It's actually a very good thing. The next thing, and the reason I'm keep looking down here, is because I have my notes here. I know I decided to do notes today so that way I can make sure that I don't forget what I'm gonna say. The next thing, I know, I'm sorry if I'm talking fast today. This is how I normally talk, and I haven't even had caffeine. It's pretty insane. I just talk really fast when I get more comfortable with things. So now that I'm getting more comfortable here on this platform, I'm not afraid to be myself. The next thing is tracking on apps. So some of the apps that I really like that I've used, I haven't used all of them obviously, because apps are not always free. So, but some of the health apps I've used before is my MyFitnessPal, and I also have like a period tracker from you ladies, which most of you probably will be ladies. It's a really good thing to have as well. Keeps track of everything. But MyFitnessPal is great. It's free. You can pay for it, and I think I would eventually like to, because I think they have even more in-depth services on it. But for now, what I use it for is fine. So it's just a calorie counting app, and you can even add in like water, exercise, weight, things like that to keep track. And again, there's other ones that are very similar to MyFitnessPal. I think that's one of the most popular ones, and most of the food, there's a lot of foods already input into here with the nutrition facts and everything, and it's really nice because I don't have to really worry about necessarily trying to figure it out. It's already there for me, so that's a really great way. I think I mentioned in one of my videos recently that I don't track calories. It's not always true. I do think it's a good tool, and it can be very, very helpful. I am not against counting calories. I think I used to be, because I never really had to deal with like actually being overweight until recently, and even I wasn't even really that overweight. I was maybe 10 pounds overweight, not very much, not very noticeable. But the reason I started counting calories for a while was because I thought it would help me to kind of get back into getting used to eating healthy. And now I feel like intuitive eating, I've been able to start doing that a little bit more because it's a learned habit. A lot of people say that, oh, you shouldn't count calories, you shouldn't diet or whatever. And to be honest with you, if you have struggles with weight, if you're someone like that, you need to restrict yourself and to, have a little bit more discipline in your life, because you obviously don't. You need to get back on a healthy track. You need to get back on a healthy, at a healthy weight. And in order to do that, you can't do it intuitively because you already are, and that means that you're eating too much. And I've felt this way. I've done intuitive eating to where I didn't pay attention, and I was unconsciously eating more calories than I needed to eat in the day for how active I was at the time, and I ended up gaining weight. And I think that they can be really helpful tools. Counting macros, counting calories, however you want to do it, however you want to keep track is good, but keeping track is obviously good. Don't tell me it's going to rain again, because if it rains again, I'm going to scream at the top of my lungs. Well, we'll see. I have an umbrella just in case. So that is that. Another thing I actually really like, and I haven't done this very much, but I do think it's really cool to compare, is taking progress photos for yourself. I mean, there's a lot of people who do share their progress photos on social media, and that's fine if you want to do that. I don't like to do it just because I don't need validation, I guess, from other people of the way I look or whatever. It's something that I find to be unnecessary for me. I don't need it. I don't really feel comfortable showing too much of my skin on the internet. I'll keep it to myself, thank you. But, however you want to do it, it's fine. But yeah, progress photos are really great because they help you see the subtle changes in your body without you noticing. Because there's a lot of things that happen in our bodies and changes that we don't see. We don't see them because we're living in our own bodies every single day, doing what we do every single day. We don't always see what the daily grind, if you will do to our bodies until we take some pictures. So take some pictures or take videos if you're trying to practice doing handstands or something. Take progress photos, take progress videos, help you understand that there are changes happening in your body and they're good, and that you should always be happy with the small wins and small changes in your body, and it's really good to keep track that way. And I think the last thing is just to write down goals. It's a kind of a very generic thing to do. But one thing I think I wrote in here, let me find it, is I think I wrote, health goals for 2019. I don't need to go through them, but those are some personal goals. But writing down your goals on a piece of paper is so key to keeping track, because when you write down your goals, I want to do this by the end of the year, or I want to do this by the end of the month. The best way to actually have an incentive of keeping track is to write down those goals. So let's say I have a goal of being able to, squat like 30 pounds or something like that. That's almost my body. I don't know if that's actually almost my body weight because I haven't weighed myself in a while, but we'll say 130 pounds. I want to squat 130 pounds by the end of the year or something. And that is a goal. You've written it down, you really want to do it, and it will keep you to keep track of that goal. So you write down, I lifted this much today, felt this way about it, I think I will change this about it. And this helps you to get there, because you can't just automatically get to a goal. You can't it's not going to show up at your doorstep and be like, hey, you accomplished your goal. You can't do that, you have to go out there and find it. You have to go out there and get it. And writing down those goals is extremely important to keeping a healthy lifestyle. And I want everyone to embrace the fact that you can be healthy. No matter what your circumstances, no matter what's going on in your life, you can be healthy if you keep track, if you make sure to actually make it a conscious decision. Because I don't agree with the mindset that health is just something that you do without thinking about it. Some habits, yes, you can develop and make into, sorry, I'm just messing with my hair. Some habits you can make into something that you don't think about, such as drinking like 8 glasses of water or something. You just do it subconsciously. Oh, I'm reading a book, let's drink some water. Oh, I'm playing a video game, let's drink some water. Oh, I need to exercise, let's drink a ton of water before and a ton of water after, and that'll help me stay hydrated. It's so important though to remember that not everything is like that. Health is not always easy. Making healthy choices is a conscious decision, and it's not always an easy decision because it's not always convenient for us. We as Americans, or just as Americans, are all about convenience, and if something is not convenient for us, we're less likely to do it. And I want us to realize that, you know what, I'm gonna make the decision today, I'm gonna make the conscious decision to keep track of my calories and to write down my workouts, so I make sure that I do them. Things like that will help us actually benefit from living a healthy lifestyle. We can't just expect it to show up on our doorstep. We can't do that. We can't eat anything that we want to all of the time and expect our bodies to look the way that we want, or to really work the way that we want. It doesn't work that way. You have to actually make a conscious decision, and it's not always easy. But it is possible, and I want you to know that if I can do it, or a lot of the other people who have even been more overweight than me have gained a healthy lifestyle by doing some of these things that I talked about today, you can. I know that you can, and I want you to understand that no matter who you are, you can do this. I hope you guys learned something from this video. It was kind of a very generic, simple kind of talking about some things that I've done in the past to keep track of my health. I'm kind of strapped for time for the next couple weeks because of just hours at work are a little bit higher because we're having, I don't know, some sale or something at work. It's whatever. But I really enjoy making videos no matter what they are. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I was a little bit more bubbly today in this video. That's actually usually how I am. In my other videos I've been kind of remote? What? That doesn't mean... I've been kind of, what's the word? Reclusive? No, I don't know. So thank you guys so much for watching. I am so glad you stopped by and decided to listen to me rant a little bit about how to keep track of your health and why it's also important. I hope that you subscribe, please, that would be wonderful, and give this video a like if you liked it, and if you like me talking about some things that you can do to better your health. And just let me know, drop a comment, tell me what are some of your healthy habits that you've kind of developed, or maybe some things that you want to develop and keep track of. I'd love to know, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, not just my own. So yeah, thank you guys again for watching. I hope to see you next time. Don't know why I did that. Bye guys.